Hey, friends. Welcome to Sunday. It's all about that bass. Do you remember that song? That was so fun. I remember just dancing all the time to All About That Bass. Well, I am excited you're here. My name is Casey Hembry. For those of y'all don't know me, I would love for you to introduce yourself and just share where you're coming from. I say we because my whole family's here today. 3 dogs, 3 kids, hubby. My mom just came over. She's been traveling all week, so it's great to see her. And yeah, we're live, and you never know what you're going to get. So I'm actually streaming in a couple places. So if you're on YouTube, hi friends, I can actually see your comments on YouTube right here. And if I'm looking right here, just know that I'm looking at Facebook and I can see your comments there. But for me to see your comments, I can watch it. I can go back and look at it afterwards. But make sure that you click that little StreamYard link, and that way I can see you here and now. And YouTube, you do have to be logged in. It's totally free. I know we've done a few of these, and people are like, well, I didn't have a YouTube account. All you do is enter your email, and it's absolutely free. But that way I can see you. So let me know who's watching. Y'all, I want to hear all your questions about foundation. It is I'm wearing orange, not because I didn't want y'all to be a pumpkin head and represent that, but I'm a Tennessee volunteer. And so it's just a beautiful orange fall day because we beat Bama last night. My husband and I both are graduates from the University of Tennessee. And I was there in 1998 when we won the national championship. And it's been since that long since we've had such a fun celebration. So sorry if you don't like college football. I'm kind of obsessed. I talk about it more, of course, when we're winning. Who doesn't love to win? So we are going to talk about today all the different types of foundation, how to feel the best and the most comfortable in the skin that you're in, and which one you need. Because I think as the seasons change, sometimes we need to up our foundation game. But here's what I learned many years ago. It could be higher now, that 78%, there was a nationwide poll, 78% felt like they were wearing either the wrong type or the wrong shade foundation. Y'all, that's a lot. That is a big percentage. So we are here to talk about how to make sure that you are not part of that 78%. And it's really hard to find the perfect match and know what formula you are. So tag your girlfriends if you feel like maybe I was telling mom, I was like, I'll tag you when I do my video, because she's like, I really need to check mine. So you might have a beauty consultant. You just haven't asked lately, what is the best way for me to see if I'm wearing the right formula, the right shade? How can I get it to last all day? How can it not look cakey? Because that's what we're going to dive in. It's going to be short and sweet. I promise. It's Sunday afternoon, so I promise I'm not going to keep you here long. But I'm Casey, as y'all start logging on. And I've been in this industry now for over 18 years. It's absolutely crazy that I've been here this long. But I'm going to share with you some of my favorites, some do's and don'ts, some great tips that are going on. Like I said, for you to feel the best about the skin that you have on. And yeah, tag your beauty consultant. Let me know who's watching. You can always do the replay, of course. And the first thing that I want to share is prep work for your foundation is super important. Super important. So have you ever applied your makeup in the morning and then by the end of the day, it looks like you have nothing on? A lot of times it will actually come off because you didn't actually prep your skin properly, which is really important. And also wearing the wrong type of foundation can cause it to vanish during the day. If you have oily combination skin, you've probably experienced that as well. So we want flawless, right? We don't want cakey, we don't want heavy, but we want flawless, but we want it to stay on all day. And we don't want to have to use filters. Y'all, this is filter free. There's no filters here. So I am going to share with you my steps because I used to have super oily. Now I'm a little more balanced, but in the winter, I have seen it get really dry because of the humidity going down, the heat's running in the house. I like to have fires going. And the first thing, before we even start talking about what color and formula, the first thing that I want to recommend is that you are exfoliating. It's so important because as we age, our skin doesn't turn over as fast. So there's just a lot of dead skin cells, like thousands. When we're young, we have about 50,000 dead skin cells that slip off every day. So imagine as we get older, you are really wanting to make sure that you are helping that skin get off your face and that you have the new living cells there. And if you don't, your skin might look dull, it might look dry, definitely uneven, right? Because you've got some new and living that are super healthy and glowing, and then you got some that are dead and drab, and you're like, why is my skin so splotchy? So definitely exfoliate, and it really doesn't matter your age. We're always going to have the dead skin cells on the surface, so you want to exfoliate regularly. There's a lot of exfoliators out there. My favorite, which I've talked about many times in our radical masking, is really the peel because it's an even exfoliation. I do it twice a week. I always say I do it to exfoliate for the Lord. So on Sundays, I'll do it tonight and I'll do it again on Wednesday. And it just keeps my skin an even keel when I start putting on my foundation during the day. Microdermabrasion is awesome. Do it in the shower. Don't do it at the sink. Just trust me on that. But if you want something more gentle that you're using consistently, how many of you all have used our Botanical Effects mask? There's one that is for dry skin that's more of a creamy. And then I really like this one. This one's more for kind of across the spectrum. It's for more normal skin, but it does great even for oily. So this one has little exfoliator beads in there, and it's just a very gentle, safe exfoliator. If you're like, okay, I'm not ready to jump into a facial peel or microdermabrasion, maybe it's for your daughter, right? I know that last year my daughter started wearing a little CC cream during her competitions, and even though it was a CC cream, she still had to exfoliate because it was so cakey in some spots and then looked like there was nothing there in others. So regardless of the age, make sure you're exfoliating. And the other thing that I want to talk about, I always want to say, I'll give you all the prices of all these in just a second, but anyway, ask your beauty consultant if you have questions like, is that mask a good mask for me? Should I be using something else? Let her help you. These things are so hard to do in the store when you don't have a professional helping you and that hasn't had the training. It doesn't have the technology that's readily accessible. So you have all of those. I'm having a beauty consultant. You have all of this. Okay, the next thing that's going to make a massive difference besides your botanical scrub is a foundation primer. Now, this is only $20. It is such a steal. It's got a silky texture. It's totally clear, so you're absolutely not even going to feel it. I feel like it totally dissipates, but it doesn't once you put it on. And what I love about it is not only is it a pothole filler, so you don't see your pores, it gives you that porcelain look. It also has an SPF 15. Okay, so that some people don't want to wear any foundation, but they'll do a foundation primer to help give them that flawless look, that there's not a lot of pits in their face, but it gives you that SPF, which is awesome. So let's be real. When I was younger, just about 5 years ago, I was doing none of this. I mean, I'm being real. I was doing none of these. So I started around 5 years ago, and I was like, holy moly, I cannot believe, especially where your pores are so large, I could not believe the difference of my skin. So using this is not only going to keep your makeup on a lot longer, it's going to give you that really smooth, flawless finish. And a face primer is honestly similar to like a primer you would use before you painted your wall. Okay. So when we paint it, it fills in any sort of imperfections that are there, but it also will create that barrier for your pores because drywall has pores in it. I've done a lot of priming with us moving into a house that we had to build out my daughter's closet and bathroom and bedroom. But if you don't, it's going to soak up all that paint. And so you spend so much money on paint if you don't have that layer of protection. And it also allows, the thing about foundation primer is it allows that makeup to lay more even. So because it's not being soaked in, right? So I want to know who on here has really dry skin. Does anybody have super dry skin? Have you ever felt like you put the makeup on and you can't even keep it on because unless it's super heavy and creamy because your skin's just soaking it in? And you're probably right. Your skin is soaking it in unless you are using some sort of foundation primer. And those of us that have oily skin, I always had oily skin until a couple years ago. I noticed that I would put it on, and then by lunchtime, it looked like nothing was there. But then if I got like a beauty blotter or, washcloth or anything, I would wipe right here, and it felt like it literally slid down my face. I know it's disgusting, but if you know me, I'm going to tell you the truth. So it was nasty. It was nasty. And I couldn't figure out why it was not staying when I was using the correct formula, but I wasn't using a primer. So primers are really, really, really highly recommended for all skin types. And then if you're oily, all right, here are my oily girls. I know I've got, hi friends. All right. I'm seeing some of the comments come through. Sorry, I didn't click on it earlier. Like I said, I got two screens going here so I can see it. But I really recommend a foundation primer. Have you ever are an oil mattifier? Have the oily combination girls ever used an oil mattifier? This again is super fast, very easy, absolutely sheer. You're not going to feel like you have anything on your skin. But the primer, you're going to apply it all over your face. And it's best that you work your primer in circular motions. So it really is hiding all the indentions, the imperfections in your skin. Don't just go up and out, but work it in like little circles. Where this one, the oil mattifier, you actually want to tap this on. Just tap it on. And here's why. It kind of has, the best way I know how to explain it is microscopic sponges. And so if you're rubbing it in, you're actually going to burst those little sponges. And you don't want to do that. You want the sponges to be able to absorb the excess oil, absorb it. So make sure you just pat the oil mattifier in. If you've got just a T-zone, then just do the oil mattifier right here in your T-zone. You don't need it all over your face. So a little dab will go a long way. Same with the foundation primer. You know you've used too much primer if your foundation starts to bead up. Like it has, just like you're peeling is basically how it is. And I said I was going to give you all the prices. And I was like, okay, I have it. Your exfoliator is $18. Your foundation primer is $20. And your oil mattifier is $20. These are going to last you months and months and months. Okay. So any questions so far? Let me make sure I'm not missing any. I was trying to have my phone and my computer on so I can see everybody. All right. Now, if you are a wash and go girl, like your makeup's just not your thing, you don't typically wear it, but you want that healthy glow, but you don't want to also look like you just rolled out of bed. I mean, you want to look like you put a little effort in your day. I think that's the reason so many people, there's article after article after article. I started reading a lot of it after COVID hit because people were working from home, making that transition. And while women that wear makeup make more money, they put effort in preparing for their day. Take a little time for yourself. So it doesn't have to be a lot of work, but just a little bit will go a long way. So I think this is such an important conversation. So if that is you, if you're like a little bit will do me, I don't want a full face day in and day out. And honestly, I've got pretty casual myself. So the CC cream will be your answer. The CC cream will be your answer. This is what I've been wearing probably 80% of the time. I put on, I actually did a little bit of both today for church. And I knew I was going to be, we've got another video later tonight. So I was like, oh, I'll do a little bit of both. But CC cream, I love it. If you're in this season of life where you do want simple, but you want that even flawless finish, y'all, I'm obsessed with this stuff. Who else wears CC cream? Anybody else wears CC cream? I've always worn our liquid foundations. And, but the older I get, the more weightless I want. I want that dewy glow, that healthy glowing skin, but really, truly a lightweight feeling. So I think the CC cream really is the answer for all of that. So if you want to feel super fancy, like I do right now, then you can mix them together. Okay, you mix your liquid foundation with your CC cream. But if you want fast, CC cream really is your answer. So it actually stands for a complexion corrector. That's what CC stands for. And it helps with redness, and it also helps with discoloration. So if you've got any sun damage, if you're more of that olive skin tone and you're like, I don't have any red, then it's going to be great for that. It's going to help even out your skin tone. If you do have the pink in your skin, a little discoloration, or even if you have rosacea and it's really prominent, this is such a great answer. Even if you want to put a different formula on top of this, you totally can. So what I love about it is it's SPF 15. Now, just because you've got SPF 15 in your primer and your SPF 15 in your CC cream, you cannot build SPF. Did y'all hear me? Cannot build SPF. So that doesn't mean you using these two means that you have 30 SPF. No. So one pump, there's 5 shades of this, and it's very, very easy to put on. I'm going to tell you the 5 shades, so you can tell me which one you think you are, or if you have a question about which shade you would be, just say, I think I might be this, but not really sure. So very light is our lightest color, our lightest pigment. And that would be somebody that burns really easily. And if you're looking for a foundation, you would go to the ivories immediately. So very light is what I'm not there yet, but I'm probably a week or two away. I'm probably a week or two away from very light. Light to medium is what I have on right now. And so that's, you have a little bit of color, but I can also burn pretty easily. So I am a light to medium. Medium to deep would be more, a little more color in their skin. They tan easily. I always think of Latina women. They don't necessarily have to be a bronze skin tone, but they tan really easy. And that would be your medium to deep. Deep would be brown to bronze skin. And then we also have a very deep, which is that ebony color skin, darker skin tone. So let me know, which one do you think you are? If you are very light, light to medium, which is what I am right now, medium to deep, deep, and very deep. The beautiful thing about this, because there's only 5 shades, is you typically can wear the same shade year round. So you don't ever have to change, which is awesome. And it's so easy to match. Seriously, so easy to match. And Mary Kay always has 100% satisfaction guarantee. So if you don't like the formula, you don't like the color, don't keep it. We don't lose a penny for you turning it in. But I love it. I always say this is a magical foundation because it soaks into your skin, but it picks up those natural pigments and has that tint to even it all out. So it really is such a gorgeous finish. It's really good if you like me and was out in the sun way too much as a little kid and put too much baby oil and had way too many really bad sunburns. It's great if you're wearing, I probably should be, I didn't wear this to church, just so you know. That you can put, to even it out if you feel like you've got 2 different colors going on, just from it being so uneven. Make sure you're using your skincare there too. So put in the chat if you're our CC cream lover. And if you want that soft coverage and not look so tired and blotchy, but more of an even skin, I'm telling you, you are going to love the CC cream. All right, so up next is our matte wear. Okay, our matte wear is going to have the purple stripe on the back, which is for oily combination. And honestly, I love our liquid foundations. I do. I've always loved them. I've always had a little pink here and a lot of freckles in the summer. So it looks super uneven. It's not necessarily sun damage, but the freckles come out for the world to see. And so I love that it's not a heavy foundation, but it's a buildable. And then we also have Luminous. Luminous is more of that dewy finish that's going to be great for normal to dry skin. And I like it mainly because it doesn't feel heavy ever, and it doesn't have a smell to it. You should never have a fragrance in your foundation. Sometimes those high-end foundations, I have noticed when doing facials at my girlfriend's house and all of my customers, is they're like, well, this is what I'm using. And prior to COVID, because I still don't have my smell back, I was like, whoa, I've always been really sensitive to fragrances. So to take the best care of your skin, do not wear a foundation, first of all, that has a fragrance, but you also should never wear a foundation that has an SPF. So this is a moisturizer with a tint in it. So it can have the CC cream. It can have an SPF. Your foundation should never have an SPF in it. If it's matte or luminous and it has an SPF, because of the technology that's out today, it's called an oxidizing formula. So the oxidizing formula is when it's exposed to air and it touches your skin, it actually oxidizes and changes the color of your skin. So have you ever put a foundation on and you're like, oh my God, that looks super white. And then 60 seconds later, you're like, oh, look at there. It actually looks really good. It's because it's an oxidizing foundation. This is going to give you that pretty sheen, sheer look in pictures. But have you ever seen pictures where it almost looks ashy or it's lost its pigment? That's why you don't want SPF in a foundation, is because it does not stay true to its color. Okay, so there's a difference in SPF in your primer, SPF in your CC cream, but not in your foundation. The other thing that I want you to know is your undertone. It's not just a color. When you say you're ivory, are you ivory with pink? Are you ivory with yellow? Are you ivory that's more neutral? So yellow undertones means that that when you pull up, let's say if you're wearing gold jewelry, maybe you're wearing gold jewelry and gold looks really good on your skin tone. So that would be what Mary Kay calls warm. That is a warm skin tone. So we have 3 types. We have warm, we have cool, and we have neutral. If you have got a little more pink in your skin tone, then I think of like warm, like the beach and your bronze, but cool would be more of a pink. So more like blue looks really good on you, like the cool water. Those are the cool undertones. Neutral is going to be more of, and that's for silver. Silver looks really good on cool undertone women. Neutral is good, can actually do both. They can wear warms, they can wear gold jewelry, they can wear silver jewelry, they can mix and match. It really doesn't matter. But it is important to know your undertone. And if you don't, we have a free quiz to help you find out your undertone, and it won't ever be a question again. Can you kind of be a little bit of both? Yes, you can. Because I have more of a cool when I'm super pale, absolutely no color. But when I get a little color or I put a little of our subtle tanning lotion on, I can actually be a neutral where I can pull it off both. But when I have no color whatsoever, I am definitely more of a cool undertone. So there's a reason we have 26 shades. There's a lot of ivories, there's a lot of beiges, and there's a lot of bronze, because you could be a light beige with a cool undertone. And then when you get some color, be a darker beige, but still have that cool undertone. So there needs to be some transition there. And that's why talk to your consultant. I will put the link for the free foundation quiz. How many of y'all have done it before? I think it's the coolest technology ever. The first question, side note, is the most important question. So make sure it's asking, do you tan? Do you burn? Do you never tan? Like, make sure you answer that one correctly. But most people cannot pick their correct color because they do not know their undertone. That's it. Most people can't pick it. All right. So how do we put this stuff on? T-zone is dry for me. All right. Thanks, Erica. Hi, friend. All right. So it says, hello. I'll come back. I'll come back because I got to go on Facebook to see. That's the reason I ask if I can see you here, is when you ask the foundation or ask if you can use StreamYard. All right, so moving right along, let's talk about what we use to apply this. So I love our foundation brush. It has like a wedge to it, and it's super duper soft. Y'all can see here, it's so soft, and it just helps blend the foundation evenly. You don't have excess oil from your fingers. Your hands are not going to absorb it all up for you. And I actually like to use this. Anybody else like to use it when it's a little damp? I like it better when it's a little damp because it seems to blend better and it's not as streaky. So matte is for normal to oily skin. Luminous is for normal to dry. And if you're normal, you can, but you want more coverage, then pick the luminous. That's going to have that creamy, dewy look. So it's going to look like there's more coverage. And then if you want matte, it's going to be more of a sheer sheen looking foundation. For you to put on, if that makes sense. When I'm mixing the CC cream with the matte wear, which is actually what I have on right now, it kind of gives you a blend of both. All right, so here is my trick to having that flawless finish, but not looking super heavy and cakey, is these 2 bad boys right here, our under eye corrector and our perfecting concealer. So the under eye corrector has a little bit of a peach undertone to it. Hopefully you can see this here. Can you see this a little bit of a peach? I'll put it right here so you can see. Does that show up? Let me see if this shows up. There you go. You can kind of see. It's a little bit of a peach. So some people are like, well, I just want to do the primer and the under eye corrector. If you do just the under eye corrector by itself with no foundation, by the end of the day, it's going to look a little orangey. I have to be honest. I would never want you to be like, oh, you should call my Mary Kay girl. And they're like, I don't want your Mary Kay girl, if that's the way it looks at the end of the day. So the way around that is the under eye corrector has a way of covering up any purple, red, or brownish, like deep dark color. This is excellent for fixing dark circles. Excellent. But if you don't wear foundation, what you want to do is grab the color concealer that matches your skin tone the best. And then all I do is, I'll show you here on the back of my hand, is I mix the two together. And I'll show you where I put it on. So that's the under eye corrector. And then this is the perfecting concealer. So you can see them side by side. You see there's a really big difference. And then all I do is I grab our cream eye color brush. I actually do it with a tip first. Can y'all see? And I mix them together just like that. And then I will apply it with our cream brush, okay? Because you want this to be really precise. Now, normally I would not put this on top of a layer I've already done, but I'm going to show y'all how. You don't want to put this everywhere because it's going to look like it's everywhere. And the older you get, you want less makeup there in that area around your eyes, okay? So you really want to be precise about it like that. You flip it over and just blend it right in. Now, if you have too much product on your brush, then I love, love, love our blending brush. This one is synthetic fibers. There's about 20,000. Can y'all see that? 20,000 of them on here. And you can use that as well to blend. But I typically go down, I am red right here. A lot of times it has to do with me wearing my glasses, I know. But I'm red right there. I'm red right here. And then whatever's left, the very last thing, as I'll do out here by the crow's feet to brighten that. You don't want a lot of product by your eye area in general because it's going to look cakey and it's going to make you look older. So less is more there. And then if there's anything else, I do have discolored eyelids. You can kind of see the capillaries in them. So I'll do that before I put my shadow on. But mixing these two is such a great way to be. And then of course, if you have breakouts, zits, whatever, you can do little spot treatments. You just don't want to use your finger and it be way outside the area that you're trying to treat. Or that's discolored, because it's going to make such a difference in the way it looks when you put your foundation on. So the other thing that I love is our new, how many of y'all used our silk? Did I not bring it in here? Our silking, I guess I didn't bring it. Our silking setting powder. Let me grab one. Okay, I got some for you. So I am actually wearing our medium ivory. That's the color that I have on right now. And I love this because it is pigmented, but it's such a sheer looking foundation. It's going to make you look completely airbrushed. And I use just our powder brush, a round powder brush for that. And I typically do not put any near my eyes because, like I said, less is more there. You want a little bit, but whatever's left on my brush after I go around, I'll just dust right here around it. So I am easily blending out the concealer and under eye corrector mixture, if that makes sense. All right, I'm going to wipe this off my hand before I get it all over the place. I'm not going to put it on me because I don't want to look older than I am. So less is more there. So, but I use the medium ivory, and it helps you just have that flawless finish, like an airbrush look, but not really heavy. And it's not going to settle into your laugh lines, your crow's feet. I'm telling you, all these little forehead lines. It's not going to go there. And then you can put all of your color on, your cheek color, your whatever, your bronzer, your highlighter, whatever you want to put on your face. You can do that. And then of course, blend it before, after, whatever your preference is. All right. Last but not least, once you get your face on, you want it to be there for good, right? You want to feel like, okay, I want to put a little saran wrap on this, not literally, but I do not want it to move. I don't want it to shift around, and I don't want it to look cakey and fall into the crevices. That, my friends, is why you need this, the finishing spray. This stuff is magic in a bottle. And if you feel like you're going to have, I remember a mother of the bride, I was doing her wedding, or her daughter's wedding, and she called me the next day. She's like, whatever you put on my face, I need it, because I danced, I cried, I was sweating. And she said, literally, I went home that night and my makeup looked flawless. She's like, I don't know what you did, but it wasn't heavy and it stayed all day. Y'all, between a foundation primer and your silking or your finishing spray, your makeup is not going to move, not going to move. And you'll just do a little spritz just like that. It's not heavy. You see it's damp right now. It'll dry immediately. And then it just sets it right there, sets it in place. Set it and forget it. So I absolutely love, love, love our, how many of y'all use it? It's really good too. If you have issues with your eyeliner moving around, whether you got oily lids or it's super humid or you got allergies, you can put a little bit of this on your hand and then touch your shadow with your what am I trying? Finishing spray, and then dab it right there, and it'll keep your eyeliner from smudging, especially here. How many of y'all have eyeliners that are use shadow? I always use shadow. That runs is so good for holding that in place. I always like to mention that. All right. So let's go through the prices one more time. You can talk to your beauty consultant. If you need an exfoliator, this is a great everyday. It's $20. As you can see, it's a ton of product, little pea size. Wash your face, then put your exfoliator on, rinse that off, your moisturizer, and you're good to go. Okay, so make sure you're exfoliating at least twice a week. But with this, you would really want to do it every single day. Your foundation primer and your oil mattifier. You do not need the oil mattifier if you have dry skin, but those both are $20. Okay, they're going to last you for like 6-7 months, promise you. The CC cream, that's not CC cream. They all start looking alike. Can we have some multicolor, please? Your CC cream is going to be $22, and then your matte wear or luminous wear is going to be $25. Okay, so those are the prices of those. The other thing I talked about was this silking setting powder. Y'all, our prices are amazing. Have you seen the prices that are out there? It's like $20 for this, and I have had mine for over 6 months and have not used it. Of course, I don't use it for a full coverage foundation, but more of that airbrush look. The other thing we talked about was under eye corrector and perfecting concealer. Both of those are $16. Our finishing spray is $20. Our foundation brush, if you want the foundation brush that I told you about, that's great. I like it damp, just a little damp. That one is actually only $14. Our blending one, I like this around the eyes. It's kind of like a beauty blender, but a little more gentle, and I don't have to wet it every time. So our blending brush is $16, and then the cream eye color brush is $12. And that's what I use for the preciseness of the, y'all see the difference? I mean, it is what it is. Filter free, folks. Filter free. All right. So I want to share with you. You probably have already seen it from your beauty consultant, but I wanted to show you what the. Oh, sorry, Erica. I still had your. I forgot to take your comment off. So this is the specials for October. A lot of masks here, which I'm super excited about. But every $50 you purchase, you get any of these items half off. So the botanical mask that I was just telling you about, you're going to get it for $9. $9. The other thing is the hydrogel eye patches. If that is an area that you've struggled with, crepiness, discoloration, keep it as hydrated as you can, and your makeup's going to look more flawless. You're going to not have to use as much. And, we just don't have hardly any collagen there to begin with. So as we start aging, make sure you use an eye cream, but those hydrogel eye patches are a great bang for your buck, and you can get them 50% off. But there's a lot of masks on there. So let us know if you have any questions. I pray this was helpful. And if I'm going to post the link now for you to do your free foundation quiz. Okay, so you can figure out what your undertone is. Just take a screenshot, share it. You share it on this post. You can share it with your beauty consultant. And let's make sure you got the right formula, you got the right undertone, and that you are preparing and prepping your skin so you don't have to keep applying, because we don't want you to look like that heavy makeup girl. I looked like her for prom my junior year, and I was like, I will never again wear foundation. I didn't realize it didn't have to look like that. All right. Well, thanks for watching, friends. I hope you'll have a blessed Saturday. I'll be back on Saturday. Blessed Sunday and a great week. And we have a huge event on Thursday night where you can win all kinds of like Yeti, Louis Vuitton. We got all kinds of stuff. So talk to your beauty consultant about that as well if you want the link to watch. All right. Mwah. Love y'all. Thanks for jumping on. Bye, friends.